Testing, 1, 2. This is Mr. Nobody. Podcast number 11. This one goes up to 11. Deep inside. Deep inside. So I've been asking the question out loud, who am I talking to? Who am I addressing in these podcasts? And that's such a modern word, podcast. When I bring it up to some people, they ask,
What is that?
Not younger people, but older people. They have no idea really what it is. I tell them it is a format, an audio format, something you listen to. And in my case, it's a place where I put my music and my internal sounds. I guess you call that sound designing, but whatever. When I first got a compositional program, I went crazy. I was like, I could hit things and capture sounds. I remember I had a dumpster outside my house for a minute. I was renovating, and I noticed when I threw stuff in this dumpster, it made the most incredible sounds. They're hard to describe. It was like a church bell from hell, but rich and complex. Rare, because when do you have access to an empty dumpster? So who have I been talking to? I've been talking to you. Whoever's listening. I can't lie that I have been seeking your assent, your approval, whatever it is, like to get you on my side, to make you feel what I feel and why I feel it. And I don't know you directly, but indirectly, or shall we say, at the source of things, our roots are connected. Your thoughts and my thoughts are still human thoughts. And we're connected. Our shared humanity, and hopefully not our shared experience. There's another you I've been talking to. And trying to gain your assent, your agreement, your approval for these thoughts and ideas. And that you is my son. I've been talking to you. And it's a little pathetic because you can't hear me. You can't hear me. You can't hear me. So I'm just doing it. Because I have to. Because I can't leave it alone. I can't not speak to you anyway. In some very strange, I don't even know what an adjective would be, but in just some very strange way, my life has become a dialogue. A dialectic. Where you and I hash it out. Where some lessons still continue. Even though it's just in my mind. What would you have said to these conversations? Conversations and diatribes where I have been very angry and sad. You want to know what I do? Each morning, I check my email. I check my phone. To see if you've written me. I can't help it. I do it every morning. And sometimes throughout the day. To see if you've heard me. Your sister tells me that I'm wrong to use terms like junkie, that it's a pejorative, a slur. I won't use any other slurs to give an example because they're offensive. But I had to really think about this, as I told her I would. Because she said that people that are lost in addiction don't mean to be, and that's not all who they are, and that reducing them in a total way to being any one thing is unjust and an act of aggression. Aggression is a response that all animals have towards danger and also towards achieving a task. We will use aggression to accomplish things or to stop something that's going to harm us. I'm willing to have this conversation to determine and to dig deeper into my tactics and motivations, and as to whether or not they're fair and just, and not just coming from a place of anger and hurt and malice. And I must admit, there is anger. And I am hurt.
Attention.
And there is probably some malice. Or some wish to lash out. But there's also a truth, a sense of truth to the word and to why I use it. A smoker is a person who smokes. And maybe that's not all they are, but having been a smoker in my life and knowing smokers in my life, I know how much it dominates every moment of every day, and usually into the night. And it's not so much that we as smokers are in denial of the ill effects of our actions and choice to smoke, but we lie about it. And there's a difference between being in denial, which is pretty rare when somebody is, let's say, refusing to believe that somebody is dead.
Attention.
When I saw the World Trade Centers come down, there were people on the street who were shouting out that the building was still standing. That was pretty weird. But the drunks that I have known and the smokers that I've known, when engaged in conversations about the level of the issue, weren't in denial about it. They just were lying to themselves. and to the world in a sort of active way. And I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie to you. That's really all this is. I don't want to lie about what I truly feel. The level to which the use of heroin and its cousins, the level to which those opiates take over your life is pretty total. Is that it's not like there's much room for being very much else when you're a junkie. When you're using junk. How about that? When you're a person who uses junk. And I only say this to you because it's not what I want for you. It'll destroy you. And before it does, it'll consume you. It'll become the thing that you can't stop thinking about, that you can't be without. You can't take vacations or departures from your reference groups, who I don't believe are ashamed. You know, you hear this all the time, that addicts are ashamed. I know you weren't ashamed when you were with your friends, shooting this shit up. I just know it. So there's a lot of jargon and correct speech going on about drug addiction. And they call it a disease, largely because it starts small and progresses. Just like anything. Anything is going to change you. Just like anything. Once in a while, I meet people that want to be singers. I want to sing. Just like anything. So I tell them, take yourself to school. Not to a school necessarily, but take yourself to school. What would it take, just like anything, to transform yourself into a singer, just like anything? You'd have to study. You'd have to engage with other professionals who know something about the process, just like anything, and the form. You'd have to commit regular, consistent, progressive actions. You'd have to continually assess your desire for that which you claim to want, and be honest with yourself to the degree that meets the level of pressure to make you seek it out. Just like anything. It's interesting because when I hear that stuff back, I'm like, that's what turns a person who tries heroin over time into a junkie. A person who starts singing isn't a singer just yet. They're on the way. And over time, through consistent actions and deliberative behaviors, they could become one. Just like anything. If they really want it. So do heroin users really want to become junkies? And I would define a junkie as someone whose use of that shit has eclipsed everything else in their life. That's what I'd call a junkie. Is someone who is only concerned, or predominantly concerned, primarily concerned with getting, keeping, and being around the support network that keeps them high or low, whatever that experience is for you. And I just think dancing around that concept is of no use to anybody because it might hurt their feelings. Because I know that you would have heard this and accepted what I'm saying and not wanted it. I don't even know that. Because you did it. You sought it out. And it's my understanding that within a very short time, you're using it all through the day. You're shooting up many times a day. And that really hurts.
Attention.
When I see you in my mind, shooting up, preparing your junk, buying it, thinking about it, being consumed by this activity, this behavior. I grieve. I also know there's plenty of reasons why you could have said to yourself, let me rephrase that. There isn't one single damn good reason to do this. Not a single one. Not your mother. Not me. Not life. Not love. not stress. Nothing. 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 There's not a good reason. But I'm sure there's dozens of bad ones. Bullshit ones. And you need a bullshit reason to become a junkie. Because it is taking yourself away. It's taking everything that you have away from yourself and the people that love you, that want you, and need you. When I use the term junkie, it's not because I want you to accept that that's what you are, but it is because I want you to fight against that being who you are any longer. I don't want you to accept it any longer. But that doesn't mean that you should not accept that that's what you are at this moment. If you're someone who's completely consumed and driven only to do this, then you're a fucking junkie. And I don't want you to be. But don't lie about it. 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 You're not in denial because it's clearly obvious. But don't lie. Because lying kills. But don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Lying leads to death. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. It hurts my feelings to say it. But I didn't lie to you when you were alive. And I'm not gonna lie to you now that you're dead. 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 Now Play that song. You play the head, I'll play the chords. Ready?